Hello, hello. If you didn't see my community post, you're probably confused on why I'm uploading again. And that's because I plan to upload 3 videos this weekend. One was yesterday, which did really well, by the way, so thank you for the support on that one. Then one today, and then one tomorrow, which will be a video on Ezio. I know, that one's really late. Like, I've really screwed the pooch on that one, as far as the timing goes. That is some loud thunder. But, yeah, don't worry, I'm still gonna get it out, and that's what counts, right? I still made it, so it's alright. If you can't tell by my voice or my sniffling, I'm, kind of sick right now. Allergies have gotten the best of me. So, instead... God, the thunder will not stop. But yeah, so instead of driving myself insane doing 50 takes, because I know I'm gonna sound terrible in this, I'm just gonna do a straight-up recording. I've never done this before. I've never done a one-take recording. I always, like, kill myself to do, 20 tries in, for one voice line, because I want it to be as good as possible. So this kind of pains me, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, if you couldn't tell by the title, today's video will be discussing the spear debate. More specifically, people have been saying recently that spear is broken. Spear is the most overpowered weapon in the game. Spear is top 1, this and that. A lot of pro players have been saying that too, which is, I'm not trying to invalidate them or whatever, because they know, the game and the meta a lot more than I do, but at the same time, I think I can give my input, because I played Spear for 5 years, since I've, played Mirage for 5 years, so inherently I've played Spear for 5 years, so I think I can give a pretty good opinion on whether Spear is broken right now, and the answer to that is no. That was some really good time for thunder right there. I don't know if you guys can even hear that, but I'm assuming you can, so just imagine that if you can. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not going to deny that Spear is good. Okay, I've always thought Spear is really good. In fact, when people, like 2 months ago, maybe, like not that long ago, I remember seeing tier lists from people saying, like, Spear was the worst weapon, or like one of the worst. It was bottom tier, right? And it's just so funny to me how in such a short amount of time it's risen from one of the worst weapons to being called top 3, top 1 sometimes. That's just kind of ironic to me, But yeah, today I want to talk about why Spear is not broken, right? Or at least why you shouldn't care too much about Spear being broken. And I know that sounds inherently biased towards Spear, and I'm trying to be as non-biased as possible. I mean, I'm not a Spear main or anything. I am a Scythe main, so my bias usually tends to lean towards that, but Spear is a weapon I play very well, I believe, so, like I said, I think I can give a good opinion on it, and not trying to be biased or anything, but seriously, I do not think Spear is broken. I just think it's really good. The main debate that people have been having, that I've seen, or I've heard from people, is they're calling it, like, the poke stick, because people can just spam end light, and, like, side light, once you catch someone with a dodge, there's a very easy, couple of hits off of that, especially if it's caught in the air. Plus, the side air is a very, heavy-hitting move, which is all very true. However, I don't believe that makes Spear broken. I've played against many Spear players in my time, but I've been paying more attention to it recently, ever since Spear's been being called broken. And I've noticed better ways to punish or get, avoid the attacks. Like when someone is spamming end light, you just need to get, better spacing. Or if people are spamming side light, just hover above them. Sure, they can go to a D light, but you can pretty easily punish, like, if you have Scythe, Dare, Spear, Nair. I mean, that's just the 2 weapons that I play the most, so that's why I put those as examples. But there are many other weapons that obviously have different moves to counter that. So I wouldn't inherently say that that's impossible to defend against, And I agree it is annoying, especially when people start, spamming Dare, or, I mean, sorry, not Dare, D-Light, it does get pretty annoying, but at the same time, it's not impossible to dodge, and you start to learn that Spear players have, like, a set of different ways they do things. It's like the same like couple of ways that they play. Some people spam end light a lot, some people spam Nair a lot, some people hover and try and do Dare a lot, some people always look for the D-Light punish, And those are like the main 4. I've seen a 5th one arise recently where people spam sidelight, which I personally think is just stupid. But yes, those people do exist. So yeah, and somehow with that, small a range of plays, because let's be honest here, weapons like Scythe and Gauntlets, like they have many different ways they can be played, right? So like compared to that, it's like pretty easy to read a spear player, you know what I mean? So yeah, but the other point of my argument is actually kind of my main argument, if I'm honest here, is that people are conveniently forgetting that there are other weapons that are way more busted than spear. If we're gonna call spear busted, then I don't know what in the world we're supposed to call bow. You know what I mean? Like, bow is ridiculous. I don't care what anyone says. D-Light, the D-Light combos are just way too ridiculous. Spamming Nair, Inlight is literally impossible to dodge. It's like you have no reaction time. You can have the best reaction time in the world, and there's no way you're dodging that thing. Cause it is just so unbelievably fast. And you could spam it too, because it keeps you in the air. You can kind of juggle them. Side air does have a good amount of force. I mean, obviously not as much as spear. I'm not trying to compare it to spear's side air, but at the same time, it does have a good amount of force. Dare, that was close. You definitely heard that one. Yeah, bow dare, literally unpunishable. You cannot do anything against that. I've tried. You cannot. I don't know if you guys have something that can counter that. Please let me know, because yeah, bow dare, you're not gonna punish that. And let's think about some other weapons. Guitars. I used to think they were top 1, like, in recent times. I don't think that anymore. I still think it's bow, like, these days. But there was a time where I thought guitars was the best weapon. And that was mainly just because of how easily they could, do the combos and stuff like that. And just string you along. But I realized that a lot of guitar players, all they do is hover above you and then spam dare, which is pretty easy to predict once you start seeing how they play. But either way, it is still a really good weapon. And I'd say it's probably, like, not around spear. I'd say it's a little bit better than spear, just because of how easily you can get those strings and build damage with guitars. Plus, side air has a lot of force. Recovery is ridiculous with the force. So, yeah, there's certain things with that. Let's see. Sword. Sword is another one that I believe is really good. I think it's somewhere close to spear, actually, as far as, like, quote-unquote brokenness goes. Because, sword, all you really need to do is, like, sidelight and D-light. Maybe throw some inlights in there, a nair and dare here and there when they're above or below you. That's about it. I mean, it's really simple. Just hit a bunch of D-light combos, D-light, sidelight, or side air, and D-light recovery, and you're pretty much set. I mean, that's what a lot of players do. And plus, like, the end lag on a lot of swords moves, like, they don't even exist. So it's really easy to recover from your attacks if you whiff something. But it's unlikely that you do anyways, because the hitboxes are pretty big, especially for, like, sidelight. So, and there was one more, Gauntlets. Gauntlets is pretty good as well. I don't think they're as broken as some people believe them to be, because you start to see, like, especially with sidelight, there are a lot of Gauntlets players that, like, spam sidelight, and especially as a spear player, that's pretty... I'm not a spear player, you know what I mean? As someone who has spear in their kit, I found it's really easy to punish that with just, like, Enlight or Nair. Either one works. Which, actually, side tangent real quick, Gauntlets is really easily countered by spear. So if you're a Gauntlets player and you think spear is broken, that's probably why. It's really easy to counter. Anyway, that's enough of that. But yeah, Gauntlets is really good. Not broken or anything, I wouldn't say. Or at least, I mean, if it was to be nerfed, it'd be some small ones. But I don't think it needs to be buffed at all or anything. But yeah, Gauntlets, pretty good weapon. So what's the point of me saying all this, you might ask? And I'm saying you shouldn't be overly concerned about spear being quote-unquote broken. I mean, I don't think it is, but even if you do, there are several other weapons that are a lot more busted than spear is, So it's a little bit weird to see people going after spear when bow is such a problem, you know? Like, it really is a problem. I don't know how we haven't gotten a nerf on it yet. Well, actually, I know. It's because pro players don't play it. But, you know, even then, I just gotta... I think one of those... I don't know if I'm allowed to say it because, you know, like, YouTube guidelines or whatever. But you know those, like, Snap accounts? Like, if you have Snapchat, you know those accounts that are, like, basically just hookup bots? Yeah, I just got a friend request from one of those. I don't know why that mattered, but, yeah, I just did. Clearly, I'm good with the ladies. What can I say? You know, playing Brawlhalla and making YouTube videos, that really attracts the ladies, you know what I mean? Anyway, that was completely unrelated. Gotta get humor in there somewhere. Especially if I'm doing a one take, which I'm still doing, and that's miraculous, because I'm not really good at one takes. That's why I'm not really going to be doing streaming. If that's a question you've ever had for me, I'm not going to be doing streaming, or at least I don't plan to, just because I usually like to plan my jokes ahead, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's completely unrelated to everything I'm talking about, because we're talking about spear. And as I was saying about spear, it is not broken, and even if you believe it is less broken than a lot of other weapons. So if you want to advocate for spear to be nerfed, sure, go ahead. But if you are, then logically you should be also talking about bow getting nerfed, right? Or maybe guitars, or maybe gauntlets, or maybe sword. Like, you know, those weapons also deserve a nerf. And also, I don't think it should be nerfed at the moment, but great sword is pretty good. I know Hardy MJ is going to kill me if he sees this video and hears that. But listen, man, great sword is pretty good. So I don't know why it needs all these buffs, but you know, you do you. He got rebanned. That was sad. I saw that. That was. I'm not gonna make a video about it. I'm trying to make this discussion video steer away from BMG, because the past couple ones I've made have all been about BMG. This is the first discussion video I've ever made that hasn't been about something bad with BMG. So let's just steer clear of that. And yeah, spear. Not broken. I mean, that's the main point of the video, isn't it? Yeah. That's about it. Like I said, video tomorrow, Ezio video. Yeah. That's about it. See you, chaps.